Welcome everyone to today's Advanced B2B webinar about aligning marketing and sales operations with the right tech stack to fuel your growth. We have really interesting subject today, and also I think really interesting view on it because we get to hear some nice and concrete examples from our dear guest Audrey Agahan from EveryonePrint, who is joining us today in the webinar. So, hey, let's kick off with some introductions. Audrey, happy to have you as guest, and would you like to briefly introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, sure. Hey, Mikko, and hey, everybody joining. I'm Audrey. I'm the Director of Marketing over at EveryonePrint. Just a little bit about my trustworthiness. I have over a decade of experience leading marketing for B2B tech and SaaS companies on both the in-house and agency sides. I'm from LA, but I actually moved to Europe about 3 years ago. So really familiar with the US landscape and now getting really familiar with the Europe landscape. And currently I'm leading the marketing department at EveryonePrint, which is a cloud printing SaaS company based in Copenhagen.
Okay, thanks, Audrey. Great. My name is Mikko. I come from a Finland-based HubSpot Diamond partner and growth marketing agency called Advanced B2B. We have been doing growth marketing and HubSpot stuff since 2014, and we work basically with B2B companies that want to grow. I have about 15 years of experience in different marketing roles, and also from managing different marketing tools such as CRM systems, websites, and marketing automation, and tools like that. I will also be your host today in this webinar. So let's take a few practicalities first before we really kick off. So this webinar is being recorded. It means that you also get the meeting recording afterwards. If you have any questions at any time during the webinar, there should be a chat button somewhere on your screen. Please put your comments there, and we do our best to answer all of them in the last 5 minutes of the webinar or so. I hope you all enjoy it, and let's kick off with what we are really talking about today. We are talking a lot about marketing technology. There are hundreds or maybe even thousands of tools around, but we are today focusing on the ones that, based on our experience, we see as the must-haves if you want to grow. Then we are spending most of the time hearing learnings from EveryonePrint, who just recently did a project around their marketing and sales tools. And we get to hear how has life been before and after HubSpot at EveryonePrint. And also a third, but really interesting point, and this is especially interesting if you are considering investing into marketing and sales tools, because you get to hear the best advices and learnings from Audrey and EveryonePrint about their recent HubSpot project. All right. Hey, let's take some MarTech stuff first, and talk about what are the essential marketing technologies that you will at least need to have in good shape if you want to fuel your growth. Now, it's really important to understand that having the right tools in your marketing tech stack is really a key part of your growth plan. The right set of tools can really make your everyday work more efficient and also enable you to grow your business. But then also, on the other hand, where you really find the most common struggles, it's also with the very basic and essential marketing tools that you have or even might not have at all. So what are these tools? Number one, customer relations management system, so the CRM system. I think this is kind of no-brainer. So CRM is of course the main source of your customer data. Anything you do in marketing, sales, customer management, service, it should all be in the CRM system. And why is that? Well, basically anything you do, it should be based on what you understand about your ideal customers and the relationship you have with your existing ones. But really, there is not a single person in your company knowing this, but basically anyone working with the customer or the potential ones is contributing to the customer data. And that's why you really need a system where you can easily store this information, the customer data, from all the different touch points you have. And you know, I'm not talking about like manual data entry to the CRM system, because everybody hates that. But with a good CRM system, you can really automate a lot of the data entry by integrations, for example, to email, calendars, could be chatbots, or any other touch points where the actual conversation with the customer takes place. Okay, so that's why the CRM system is one of the most essential tools. The second essential component in your MarTech stack is your marketing automation software. Now, if scaling your business is at the top of your priority list, then this is where marketing automation tools can really help you. You can control like multiple marketing channels from emails, websites, social media, paid advertising, all that in your marketing automation tools. And the tool you select should tie these channels together and also, most importantly, automate the campaigns and marketing tasks so that you don't really need to run them manually. So your marketing automation tools makes it possible for you to build automated rules that trigger the right messages for each of your customers when the time is right for them. Yes. And then the third critical tool to have is your website content management system, so the CMS. Again, this is quite self-evident, so why I'm pointing that out? Well, there are many CMSs around, but why I think CMS really deserves its place in the top 3 list of the important MarTech tools. There are 2 main reasons, I think, for that. First, not all CMSs are easy to manage. I mean, it is still quite common that you will need, for example, a developer to publish a simple campaign page, which is just a little bit different to the templates that somebody created for you 1 year ago when you did the website project. And in marketing role, you can spend a lot of time managing your website. And a good CMS simply allows you to do this more effectively. A second reason to invest in a good CMS is, well, the website is probably your most important marketing asset. And in the future, I mean, it could also be your most important sales channel. And I mean, you wouldn't do the same sales and marketing to everybody. So why would you do that on your website either? And this is really the point. All these MarTech tools that you have that are really must-haves on their own, but to really fuel your growth, the point is that they should be connected. And that's where you can both collect the customer data and also use it effectively and wisely in different marketing and sales actions that you have. All right, so now that we covered like what the essential MarTech tools really are, next we are actually going to see a really interesting case about how you can approach streamlining these essential tools and what benefits do you get when you invest in these tools. So let's hear it from EveryonePrint, and Audrey, please, the stage is yours.
All right, just give me a second. I'm going to share my screen. All right. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay,
Good.
cool. So let me just tell you a little bit about EveryonePrint, just to give you some context. So we've built a platform to easily migrate your print infrastructure to the cloud. So we mainly target like the IT teams of different companies. That's our website there. And there's a little timetable of, we were founded in 2003, but this new product that we built was actually launched in 2017. So we have about like 800 customers on this new platform that we've built. So we're really at the stage where we're starting to scale up. We focus on offering our cloud print SaaS to B2B companies, and some of our ICP like industries are the government and public sector, IT and software industry, and the finance industries. For our sales model, we have a high touch sales model with indirect sales through our network of partners. And some of our partners are like actual print manufacturers like HP, Sharp, Konica Minolta, and Ricoh. But we also sell through different IT resellers, MSPs, and things like that. But we do not sell directly on the website. So I was kind of brought in to start generating inbound leads that we would pass on to our partners to provide value to them and to bring leads to them. So when I started, which was in about August at the company, we do offer like a free demo and trial on our website. But there was a lot of trouble tracking it. So these are a few reasons why I started thinking about updating our sales and marketing tool stack. So first, our tech stack was not unified. We were using Zoho for our CRM, WordPress for our CMS. We were actually using HubSpot for marketing automation, just mainly for emails and building forms. And then our support system was on Zendesk. So we had these kind of complicated integrations through Zapier, which I wasn't super comfortable with. I often saw like errors coming in that I got email notifications on, and I wasn't quite sure what they were for. So all in all, it was just like everything was disjointed, and I had to check different softwares to get information, and I couldn't easily see a visitor's activity from its first touch point until like conversions. And knowing that information from my past experience would help us get deeper understanding of our customers and guide sort of our marketing strategy and our efforts. So that was the first reason. And then when it came to our actual CRM, which was on Zoho, there were a lot of sort of shortcomings that I see. One of them was that we couldn't properly attribute our leads and track KPIs. So my like North Star metric is the pipeline that we bring in on the marketing side, and then also eventually the revenue. But we were not directly tracking that. So I couldn't see like we had leads coming in, but we didn't know where they were coming from. So it was kind of a manual effort to try to pull this information of just asking sales like, hey, where did this lead come from? What else? We also didn't have sort of a distinction between our leads. So we didn't distinguish between MQLs and SQLs. We didn't have a process for lead handoff or qualifying leads. And then, like I said, the reporting was really not easy to pull or easy to read for that matter. What else? And then lastly, our WordPress CMS also was pretty difficult to use. And also we didn't really have visibility into website activity other than what we kind of saw on Google Analytics. We can kind of see sort of click activity and who is visiting, but we couldn't follow the journey of what our visitors were doing on our website. And it was also hard to update the content without a WordPress developer. We can, easily create blogs, but if we wanted to create, let's say, a new landing page, that wasn't something that we could easily do on our own. And then the last reason here is there was a lot of manual work and unclarity. My marketing team was spending a lot of time every day checking if the leads were legit. Then they were assigning them to salespeople. But then after that, nothing really happened. We didn't know if these were good leads or how to improve our inbound lead gen efforts. There was a lot of manual updating on spreadsheets of contacts from Zoho CRM to our HubSpot marketing automation tool. So if we wanted to, run like an email campaign or create a drip campaign, there was like some manual work that needed to be done. If we wanted to sort of understand the lead quality, we basically kind of had to chase sales and maybe create a spreadsheet, I think we were doing, and then asking them about like the quality of leads, if they were any good. And then on the sales side, like whenever they wanted to, if we got like a demo request or trial request, if they wanted to book that, their sales was sending a lot of emails back and forth, trying to schedule the meetings, sending manual reminders for these meetings. And then again, like I mentioned earlier, I had to pull a lot of these reports from various areas. So I was pulling a sales report from Zoho, like campaign reports from HubSpot, website activity from Google Analytics. So it really made making weekly reports and doing monthly retros really difficult and a hassle.
Yeah, I mean, if I may comment briefly, I can really feel what you said also from my like a previous experience, and I think these are really the very common sales and marketing people headaches with also with many companies that we work with, and I think one of the biggest reasons why the things could be like this is that all these different tools like the CRM, automation, websites, etc., they have their own lifespan. And typically when the time is right, they are purchased to take care of the current specific problems. But it's actually very important to keep in mind that what you'll be doing in the coming years also, what systems will you need then, and will the tools you purchase make the solid tech stack over time? Because you really don't find yourself in with all these tools not communicating with each other, because then you will find all this hassle and manual work that you just mentioned there.
Yeah, definitely. And sorry, all of a sudden, of course, some drilling happens above me. So sorry if it's loud every now and then. Okay, so eventually we decided to move everything to HubSpot. And these are just a few of the reasons why we decided to move to HubSpot. So I wanted to definitely unify all of our tech stack. We're even going to migrate over Zendesk to HubSpot support soon. We wanted something that was really easy to use, especially for updating the website, because we wanted to expand the website and do a lot more activity, like doing webinars and creating blog posts and creating landing pages, different landing pages for advertising. So it really needed to be easy to use. I've used it before, so I know that it works well. Also, the marketing attribution is like automated and works well. And I know that you can even sort of attribute and link your paid advertising efforts and then get full visibility into what your visitors are doing when they visit your website, where they came from, how they engage with your marketing campaigns and all that. The workflows helped us to automate the lead. Like I know that it could help it to automate our lead assignments and the handover. I've seen how powerful and easy the reporting dashboards are to build, and they're very easy to read and very attractive to read. They also have very comprehensive online training and partner support. But ultimately, it was to get tighter alignment with our sales and marketing so that we could kind of see what the sales are doing with the customer or prospect, and we can easily help to make the journey easier, to move people to convert, and then also to kind of nurture customers. And then when we bring on our support, we'll also be able to see, even the things that are happening on the support side. So we'll really have a holistic view of our customers and also our prospects, which will really, I think, understanding your customer, the deeper you're able to understand them, the better your marketing gets, the better your sales gets. So all of those insights are really, really crucial to what we do. And HubSpot really allows you to do that because you can do everything in one place.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, by the way, did you have any other systems in the short list than HubSpot?
I mean, I've used Salesforce before, but from my experience with Salesforce, it's kind of complicated for what we wanted to use it for. We don't have like a huge company where we need such complicated sort of customizations. So that was kind of the only other one I thought of using, but I knew already from experience that it wasn't my favorite tool.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. HubSpot is a really great tool, but like you said, of course, there are also many other tools around. I think it's just a question of picking the system that fits your processes the best. So if there's anyone thinking about investing in the marketing technology, start by documenting your processes first. That helps you understand how you operate, and then also after that, like what tools you will need to support that.
Yeah, definitely. I'll share in a bit, like kind of my recommendations and what I learned. So I definitely agree with that, Miko. All right. So how's it going now that we've actually implemented HubSpot? We started the project, I think, back in November, like kind of documenting the process and sort of getting ready to migrate everything over. But we didn't actually launch HubSpot until around February. So now we've been using it for a few months. And what I can say is we have much better visibility, tracking, and reporting for inbound lead gen. So it's really going to help us, like fuel our inbound lead gen efforts. And now we have much better data insights for decision making and planning. There's lots of automations now. Our lead handling is no longer handled by a marketing person. We've automated this process basically by determining what kind of form somebody is filling out. That determines sort of what their initial lead status will be. And then the workflow is determined by country, like which sales rep they get handed off to. And then the sales can actually just click can qualify the lead in HubSpot. And so we don't have to chase them anymore, which is really saved us a lot of time and makes it really easy to kind of track the quality of our leads. That leads into now we have a clear process and easy reporting for qualifying leads. And we can understand the lead quality and the real impact that we're having and how it actually pertains to the pipeline that we're generating and the revenue that we're generating to contribute to sales. We can easily create new website pages on the fly without a developer. Like, for example, last week we launched 3 new landing pages for our advertising in 3 different languages. Our website's only available in English, but for our advertising, we built these landing pages that you can't find on the website. That was just, our own people built those with no developers needed. And then also, it took a lot of preparation with advanced B2B, but we're still testing out our custom process with sales and marketing teams to see if it really works well for everyone. So we're continuing to refine it and make enhancements and make it better. It doesn't mean that how we set it up in the beginning is how we're going to stay. So we're continuing, like every day, we're continuing to improve and expand our use of the CRM. Like we know there's so many things that you can use and we're not using all of them. For instance, lead scoring is something that we've thought about doing, but we're just not ready to use it yet. So maybe it's something in the future that can help us when we've grown a bit more. And then I just kind of wanted to show you what that looks like. So our website was on WordPress, and this is what it looks like now on HubSpot. It looks exactly the same as it did on WordPress. So I know some designers are a bit worried about like, okay, there's some kind of limitations on design when you go to HubSpot, but I think if you have a really good web HubSpot developer, they can kind of make what you envision, come true. So we didn't have any issues there. We have a lot, this is quite hard to read because it's tiny, but we have much better insights into the visitors on our website. So you can kind of see at the bottom there where, this is just my own contact, but you can see that I came in through just direct traffic, and you can see all the pages that I've seen. Like you can see if I've opened an email, you can see on the left here, you can sort of see how we're qualifying leads. We have like a lead status field where sales goes in and qualifies that. So this really gives us a lot of insights into helping us plan like how we should deal with these leads and understanding the leads that we're bringing in, and also for our customers.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
If I briefly make comment, so I think this is really interesting. That I mean, with HubSpot CMS, because it shows that it really runs on your CRM system. So you can use all these CRM data to customize your website experience if you like, and you don't really need any integration. So it can really save you some Zapier magic that you don't necessarily want to have.
Yeah, those Zapiers, I really didn't understand what's going on with those Zapier things. So this really makes it much easier to do. Another thing that is kind of automated, if Miko can probably speak a bit more to this, if HubSpot recognizes your email domain or something like that, it can now, like, it'll populate its industry and sort of the company size. So some of the company data that like will automatically get input into our CRM, which is really, really nice if we want to do sort of some ABM or specific targeting for certain company types and sizes.
Yeah, exactly. That's like a good example how you can automate this data collection into your system. So
yeah, it's been very powerful. And then this is what our reporting looked like before HubSpot. So you could see in red, like there was a lot of stuff that we were not tracking or we couldn't track. And then you could see, like, for the sales meetings, like we had to ask sales team, and like a lot of this was just hoping that we were getting the truth, but not really quite sure. And just a lot of manual counting from HubSpot and Google Analytics and Zoho. So now this is what our reporting looks like. I have a whole marketing dashboard, but I thought I'd just take a screenshot of a few of the ones that we care about. So like I mentioned earlier, our North Star metric is the pipeline that we generate. I've blurred out the numbers, but you can see quarter by quarter how much pipeline we've generated that have come from sort of our marketing efforts, and then also the revenue that we've generated. We are obviously running behind on our revenue, but that's something that we're working on. And then for our lead attribution and qualification, so now it's really great that this is automated. We can see where leads are coming from. I mean, this is not always 100% true, because a lot of the direct traffic, for example, that could have been, a URL given to them by a partner or by a salesperson. But for the most part, this gives us a lot of visibility into where leads are coming from. And for instance, if our paid search is working, and we've worked a lot on our SEO, so you can see that our organic search is really doing well now. So this helps us to kind of measure our efforts. And then on the sort of lead qualification side, this is like a thing that we set up custom. It's not a sort of a field that comes with HubSpot, but based on recommendation from Miko, this is how we're currently qualifying leads. So if they we've decided if they fill out any sort of like gated content, we're going to consider them an MQL. And if they request a demo or to be contacted by sales, we're going to consider that that's already a bit warmer and they want to be contacted by sales. So those automatically get assigned what we've called sales accepted leads. So those are the leads that go to sales, and then they go and actually qualify them. And if they're qualified, they'll move them to sales qualified lead. And if they're unqualified, they'll move it to an unqualified status with a reason. So you can see here, basically, we have 37 leads that are waiting to be qualified, and we have 24 that have already been qualified. So this gives us an idea of like what of the leads that are actually, turning into something with potential.
Yeah, this looks really really nice. I think. I mean, you had something for sales there in your previous slide, but have you really been able to use HubSpot reporting to other functions as well, like except from marketing, like sales and service?
Yeah, actually, so we have like about 6 or 7 like sales managers who basically are sales directors who manage them. They built a dashboard for each sales manager so that they can easily see how they're performing, and then in their one-to-ones or in their weekly sales meeting they refer to these dashboards. And then even like on a company level, like we've have this automated revenue report that goes, because we have this goal of meeting like a certain amount by the end of this month. So to keep everyone notified, we like our CRO has sent out this automatic email that shows like where we're at in terms of revenue each week to the whole company. So definitely those are being used probably more by sales than marketing, actually. And then I just thought like I'd just preview what's coming soon. So on the left there is our current knowledge base that's on Zendesk. It looks pretty kind of not so nice. So we actually already have a design ready for to move the knowledge base to HubSpot. So you can see a preview of that there. It's much more aligned with our branding. And it's also much easier to update. And so this will also not only visibly look better, but now we'll have further linkage to our customer data and again, have deeper visibility and understanding. So that's coming. And then I thought I'd share some learnings and best practices. So I just thought I'd give a few pieces of advice based on my experience. So the first thing you want to do, this is from Simon Sinek, of course, is start with the why. So why are you thinking about adding or changing your tech stack? So you really want to understand, like, why are you considering this? Not just doing it because everyone else is using this, so maybe we should too. And then like really thinking about why does your current tech stack fall short? Maybe you can do these things that you want to do, you're just not leveraging certain features. So maybe you just need to consult an expert with the tools you're using just to figure it out. Then what I would do is do a sales and marketing audit and document your goals. So talk to your sales and marketing and other departments if they're using it to align on your goals, and then audit the current sales and marketing process. So and get their ideas on how it can be improved, and then can your tech stack do what you want it to do, or where does it fall short? Then think about your KPIs. So what are the most important data points and metrics you need to track to measure success? And can you currently easily track this data at any time to help your planning and decision making? And can you easily pull reporting? So like I like to do reporting once a week, and then we do a monthly retro. So for me, I just now can copy and paste or take screenshots of the dashboard, which will easily tell me the data I need to do, and I don't need to look in several places. Then you want to like share your vision. So what I did was I kind of documented what an ideal sales and marketing process looks like. Well, not me, it was me and our revenue ops specialist. So she's kind of in charge of our CRM now. So together with her, we partnered up and figured out like, what does this process look like? And then how will we achieve this and which tools should we use to achieve this? And then what I did was I shared the current shortcomings of our current tech stack to justify why we should move, and then also kind of set the scene on like what can we do, how much ROI can we get when we change our tech stack. So for instance, get better data and tracking, which equals more quality conversions, which equals more revenue, because that at the end of the day, that's probably what your business cares about. So you want to speak in this language that shows like why we're moving the tech stack will help to fuel your growth, fuel your revenue. And then lastly here is trial it out. So I already knew it would work well, but to get company buy-in, it's good to have other stakeholders within sales and marketing test it out and be part of the process, so that it all doesn't fall on you and you have other people to kind of back you up and make sure that it's going to be good for everyone. And then just some things to kind of just to keep in mind are like, there's going to be a learning curve. So expect that there will be some resistance to learning new tools. So you want to really take time to document your training plan and keep that in mind for not only current employees, but future employees. So again, like I mentioned earlier, we have an in-house person. She's our revenue ops specialist, and she's dedicated to maintaining our CRM. And she's basically the one pushing our sales team to use it the way that we've designed, and making sure that we're using it, how we had planned it to be used. Because if we kind of launch it and nobody's using it, then there's no point. A bonus thing is that I created a sales and marketing service level agreement. So it's kind of a nice formal way to document the sort of entire process, and then have sales and marketing agree like, okay, this is how we're going to do it. You'll be in charge of this and we'll be in charge of this, and we're agreeing on that. And then continue to test and enhance. So don't expect everything to go perfectly when you migrate or implement new tools. Like tools like HubSpot have so many customization possibilities. So you want to just keep testing and enhancing as you go. And then my last piece of advice is to lean on HubSpot experts and partners. They are experts in the tool that you're considering. So I highly recommend utilizing one for implementation, and even also after for continued maintenance and enhancements. So even though we launched back in February, we're still working with Advanced B2B today to help us continue to enhance it. So that's it for me.
Yeah, thank you, Audrey. I think these are really excellent advice, and definitely something everybody should check before jumping into a CRM project. I personally like a lot that you mentioned the KPIs and how you want to manage marketing and sales at the end of the day, because like you said, you have to set up the system so that all the data points are covered, and you will actually be able to get the data you need. And I think this is something that sometimes gets forgotten, especially if you jump into the setting the system without documenting your processes first. Thanks, Audrey. May I take the screen back?
Yeah, please do.
Just a second.
I'll stop sharing.
Yeah. There we go. And I share my screen. So yeah, now you probably see the questions and answers there. Yeah, that really good takeaways and learnings there, Audrey. So we have around 5 minutes time. So I think we have some questions there. So let me check, what do we have? How did you find the HubSpot project? Was it something you expected, or was there something that caught you by surprise? That's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one. So I think because I've worked with HubSpot before, but I've never actually been part of like a migration to HubSpot. I kind of thought like, oh, it's going to be easy and smooth. But there are things that come up. For instance, we're very sensitive about data, like data security and GDPR and where we store our data. So at the beginning, we didn't realize that all of our data was being stored on like a US like HubSpot portal. So in the middle of the project, we kind of had to pause everything and move everything to the EU portal. And this is just a requirement from our company. So there's things that will come up, and you just kind of have to like just be ready for that. And yeah, so, but overall, I think like I'm just so happy with everything that we're able to see now. It was a bit of a struggle figuring out like how to manage like sort of the lead statuses and lead handoff and building all those workflows, and because they get quite complicated. But thank God we had advanced B2B to help us with that, because there's no way I would have been able to build all of that on my own.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I agree on when you take a new system, there's always like, and this is not just for you, but this is basically a very common thing that we see, that when you take the new system, you always kind of tweak the processes a little bit. You might even create whole new processes there. So that's why it's kind of when you start doing the like a CRM setup, and some things might pop up along the way, and then if there are any surprises, they are typically related to that kind of things. But yeah, that's how how it typically goes. But I think that there was not that many surprises in this project, at least. Then there's actually another excellent questions, which is like this. How do you manage HubSpot development after the project? Do you have one person in charge of the system and some model to collect feedback from the users regularly?
Yeah, so I kind of alluded to it earlier. We have our revenue ops specialist. She's in charge of our CRM, and she actually I don't think she had previous experience with HubSpot. She was using Salesforce, I think, but she easily learned HubSpot, and she's a rock star, and she's sort of the person who keeps us in line and manages requests and enhancements and questions and training. So yes, and she collects feedback from our sales team, and we have like a weekly sort of sales meeting. So we continue to get feedback from there, and it helps us kind of refine and create a roadmap for enhancements.
Yeah. Thanks, Audrey. Then there's actually still a few ones. Could you please explain more on your process you have implemented? Like, give one example.
Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly what process, but for example, for like lead, maybe you're interested in the lead handoff stuff. So we basically we build the forms in HubSpot, and then those get into our CRM. And now we have this process where they're automatically assigned like a lead status, and then the sales gets an email notification, which are assigned sort of by country to the salespeople. And then they just manually kind of choose the qualification. And then we take that reporting, and that helps us to like see how we're like going against our goals. So for instance, I have a goal of getting 100 qualified leads this quarter. So then I can easily check that lead status to see how many we have. But if you have, more questions, I'm happy to like take it offline. You can contact me on LinkedIn or via email.
Yeah. We have still 1 minute, and there's one question, so maybe we'll take that briefly. We went over a very similar process 1 year ago, transitioning from PyDrive to MailChimp and WordPress, but we still have not taken the risk of ditching WordPress and having a full HubSpot-based website. Are there clear benefits from the change that would justify the extra work?
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you from my from my own experience, like it is a lot of work to rebuild all that design in HubSpot. So don't take that for granted. It takes a lot of work. But now that it is on there, it's amazing that I can see all the website activity, how it links to the CRM, how easy it is to build the landing pages. I don't know how easy it is for you to build in WordPress, but for me, it was like quite difficult, and the UX is not very good. So there's a lot of different benefits. Like I can just like you see a HubSpot button on your website. So you just click edit on any page that you want, and it's so easy to edit. You don't even have to like log into the system. It's all connected. So yes, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, thanks, Audrey. Our time is sadly we are running out of time. So I'm taking the closing words. So just wanted to share a short teaser about the upcoming webinars by Advanced B2B. So during the fall, there will be a number of MarTech related webinars, and we start by a couple of webinars about how you can grow your business with your website. So stay tuned for that. And if there are any extra questions we didn't have time to reply, we will come up with some answers after this webinar. But hey, for now, thanks for joining the webinar. Especially a great thanks to you, Audrey. I hope you all enjoyed, and I wish you excellent summer and the rest of the week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.